Yeah.
Anything and everything. So this is just one of them, and yes.
You feel you're working at it?
As of now, I mean, things
as
are
of
just
now,
going along
going along very well.
I think he's the intelligent guy who waited for some time to really assess out his own feelings,
Yes,
what
I
he
think,
wants
yeah.
out of life, and then get married.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's very much clear in his mind and in his psychology. Okay, yes, exactly.
Also,
That's all.
I've
And age,
like,
the maturity
I've
comes in.
waited, I've seen things, I've, you know,
Yeah.
seen things develop, I've seen things getting ruined, and in a way you know the pitfalls, so.
Okay. Discussing the modern day society vis-a-vis marriages. Well, you know, we've gone about the modern day marriage, the way things are changing and people are getting more vocal, etc. But also, are youngsters a little scared of getting, like he's taken his time to get married, like he said. Are they scared of commitment? Rajshri?
I would agree with that, because you would, even when you go through the statistics, you will see one thing. The girls who were getting married at the age of 21, like I got married when I was 21. Now girls are not getting married before 24, 25, by and large. We're talking of the urban population. Similarly with the boys as well. I don't see any boy who's of the age of 25, 26 getting married. I think they want to settle down, be more in control of their life, and then go ahead with marriage. And that is very individual. There are boys and girls who settle down early in life, so they might have an early marriage in comparison. And the ones who settle down a little late would like to wait on. So I would say wait on is a far better option than to quickly get into marriage and then regret it.
Okay, talking about regrets of marriages, when we are, you know, in a situation where we are talking about modern day, and we are also talking about people meeting a lot of people, attraction comes in. So when you are married, is it all right when couples start finding different partners, finding somebody else they're attracted to? In other words, how do we actually define modern day morality? And I'll ask Dr. Jared that.
I think that way, if it is getting attracted to others, I think it was happening all the time.
It's nothing modern.
It was happening all the time.
Yeah.
There was flirtation of one sort or the other in our marriages, in our songs, and so on. So, but it was covered quite well.
Yeah.
It had its, you can say, outlets. Outlets were provided. But today, the way we see the newspapers are writing articles about workplace romance, flirtations, how to handle them, and so on. We are more open about this. We are accepting that this is something which happens. And I really think that where your mind goes, what you think of, is not easy to control, and very few can vouch for it. I don't know about some saints, but normal person's flight of imagination, it can run here and run there. So attractions are something part of our lives. The point is, how do we handle them today?
Yeah. Yes.
Does an attraction mean the marriage goes?
Yes.
That's something, the responsibility is greater on the man and the woman today, the husband and the wife today, because there aren't many external pressures to keep the marriage intact. The marriage remains intact in case the couple works on it. He says he's ready to work on it. So if they are ready to work on it, if they are ready to preserve it, they consider it something which is valuable. I think that discipline has to come from within.
Yeah.
The external pressures are very few.
I think
the valuable part is very, very important. We value everything, be it solitaire, you know, be it an expensive car.
All material
Why don't
things.
we value relationships? I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
There are two different types. One is a straight physical sexual relationship. Second is what I will say friendship or intimacy oriented. Physical relationship pretty well kills the marriage still. Generally on the male side is slightly more acceptable, but it is still getting less so. Second is,
it's not acceptable at all.
if somebody else other than your spouse is your best friend, male best friend, outside man, would you accept it? I think even that will put a strain on marriage. That in case of spouse, you want the other person to be that I am the best friend, and thou shalt not have physical intimacy. But what is now being allowed is that you can have other persons of relatively lesser level friendships. That should be allowed, in so on. But not at the, you can't say that I will go to movies with another person, everything with another person. Even if physical intimacy is not there, marriages will break down.
Yes, if that other party is threatening enough, not otherwise, sir. And yes, emotional infidelity in times to come will culminate into physical intimacy.
But don't you think that the reason for that mainly is because people have started working now? And
Yes,
there is
the
a lot of
availability is
temptations available.
Comparisons
Most of
are
the
there.
time we are not really together. Like the men are working on a different time frame, the women are working on different time frames, and since we are spending so much time with other people, that you tend to be attracted about a certain quality of that person. Therefore, I think in today's time it's very important to like the partner more than the love part. Because if you like the human being,
Number one.
yes, he'll be fine or she'll be fine along with it. If the love factor comes and goes, dopamine and endorphin and all those things, that happens and it's time bound.
And you
But
should
the
drop the
liking,
number 2, number 3, 4.
Yeah.
If you try to say one and none else, that sort of
that
thing will not
doesn't
work out.
work.
Doesn't work.
You
Yeah.
have to be able to
Very
have
dangerous.
the openness to like somebody for this quality, like somebody
Yeah.
else for that quality. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean that I love you less or like you less, and I should respect the human being. Okay, I like you enough and I want to make a life with you, and the companionship is what is important here. Fair enough.
I don't know whether it
No, but
is.
that's what I said, that these tips have to be ingrained in each one of us when we are going towards marriage. Like
Yes. You have to
Ginny
know.
rightfully said that one must know it. I would put it right, understanding is very, very important. Each time the husband walks into the house and he's in a foul temper, or the woman loses her cool, one must have the right understanding to realize that what is it? It's not just because of you that he's angry. He could be carrying some kind of a burden from the office.
Yes.
If that understanding we are able to display in a marriage, to me it's supreme. Then I think we can, the hardships, the obstacles that we go through, we can deal with it with maturity.
Right.
I think there is the physical intimacy and the emotional intimacy. I have read, I don't know whether it's true or not, that men may forgive emotional intimacy, not physical intimacy.
Yes.
Whereas women do the reverse part of it.
Vice
They
versa.
will might forgive the physical
Absolutely
intimacy,
right.
but they will not forgive the emotional
Yes.
intimacy.
Men will always have sexual affairs, physical affairs.
I like that.
Almost always
The men are
have.
keeping very quiet.
Women almost always have emotional affairs unless they are sluts. She has to like the man,
Yeah.
then she goes ahead. For men, it's
all-
more to do with the physical aspect. I mean, biologically they're made like that. Statistics say that, if you read it.
Initially marriages had no space, I think. That's why it bound the women together in that kind of a relationship. Then the phase came that they said give space. Now I think there's too much of space being given and that is why the whole problem comes out.
Yeah,
And
other
by the
people are
time you
walking
realize it, it's already too late.
Really? But this is a huge topic and we could probably go on discussing. But Rajshri, if you want to tell us, what would your message be for marriage?
Nimrat, there are 4 major tips, and Dr. Jayadath, I respect you a lot. You could check me if there is any changes
go
to be
ahead,
made.
please go ahead.
The first one is purposeful communication. When we communicate with our spouse or maybe the children with the intention to talk. Now, even when we fight, that's communication, but that's not purposeful communication. Conversation loaded with sarcasm is also communication. Here I'm talking purposeful communication. Number 2 is right understanding. Sahi samajh. Each time we get into a conflict or we are having a difference of opinion, right understanding will lead you to the right path. The third one is giving up on negative judgments. You hate it when your spouse compares you with another woman who is more desirable. Even the man hates it when the woman compares him with another man who's earning more money.
Perhaps
So,
more.
yeah, perhaps more. So giving up on negative judgment is very, very important. Fourth one, accepting responsibility. Whatever marriage, whatever decision you've taken it, you have to shoulder that responsibility
take it through. Take it through.
I mean, make an effort. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. That's your bad luck. That's destiny. But when we go with that feeling that yes, it's my decision to marry this man, then I must Must take it to its logical end.
Giri, you get a lot of, very quickly because I'm going to come to a close, you get a lot of people coming to you. Is it a lot of them, are they based on broken marriages, or do they want to get away or getting married? I mean,
there are a lot of people who come as in youngsters who want to make their lives better, but again there are a lot of temptations happening with them, and the parents who come to you for consultations are more materialistic nowadays. How much is this person earning? Is he single son? Do they already have a house made of their own? So they want very simplified things for their kids, really. The tolerance is what I think is lacking nowadays. That is the prime concern. If we are getting married into a family, we need to be slightly tolerant with the other person's shortcomings, which is not really there.
Yes.
So that, I think, tolerance would come down to it. The trust is no longer there.
And also, if you're looking at these aspects,
Trust is becoming a problem
Marriage is a
nowadays,
persistent
really.
effort.
Yes, it is.
But I thought the basic foundation of a marriage would be trust.
But that is no longer happening somehow. It is like quid pro quo. What am I getting from you? What are you getting from me? As long as that is happening, fine. Otherwise, I'm not party to the game.
I think
And you see a lot of clients like
I
that?
see a lot of people basically lost there. They don't know themselves what they want. Like she said, like people are waiting longer to get married. I think it's other way around. They are interested in the commitment, but they are not really sure how they want to take it further.
Right.
They will be having affairs at the age of 16 also. But getting married is a totally different ball game.
Well, I think I'm going to close right here. Marriage is a wonderful institution, but who wants to live in an institution? That was Groucho Marx in his inimitable style. But jokes apart, the bonds of matrimony perhaps are like any other bonds. They mature slowly. Marriage has to be worked upon constantly, slowly, perhaps even grudgingly. But keep the grudge if you will, just nudge yourself to try. Such is life, isn't it? Well, with that we end Day and Night Prime. Good luck and goodbye.